Okay, the last group, they're called Pakuk. Yeah, don't even want to try to spell that. P-A-K-U-K. Phonetically, that's how you'd spell it. I don't know what the proper spelling would be for that, if there's even one, but that's what they're called. They're called Pakuk, and they look like little skeletons, about 3.5 feet tall, that are covered very tightly with gray skin. They have absolutely no hair. They don't have eyelids or eyebrows. They've got really large dark eyes that are kind of oval. They've got like a little thin slit for a mouth, really narrow chins. They don't have noses the way we do. It's just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like you know what they look like? They look like, the more I try to describe it, you know, have you ever seen that book Communion with the little alien on it with the big bug eyes, you know, and the little, that's kind of like what they look like. Actually very, very similar. These ones are, like I said, they're about 3.5 feet tall, and they look like little skeletons. They don't look like they have any muscle underneath their skin or anything. Like, it just looks like gray flesh wrapped around a skeleton. They got long bony fingers. They're very powerful. They're very strong. They can fly, and they're considered to be extremely evil, and to stay away from them. However, there are exceptions. But for the most part, contact with those ones is not recommended. They have been known to disembowel people, and it's a real disgusting way to die. They've been known to like literally pull your guts out through your anus. Not much fun for anybody, I'm sure. Yeah, they're very powerful, and as you know, little as they might be, they can be very, very scary. They make a really horrific sound. They sound like somebody being strangled or choked or something, and kind of like a squeal or shout at the same time. It's a really bizarre, creepy sound, like something you'd find like in a horror movie. They're just, ew, you know, it's creepy. They also travel in packs in the wintertime and during storms. It'll sound kind of like a loud clap or a gunshot or something, and then you'll hear them. And they travel in storms, and there's usually more than one. Before that storm hits, you best bring in, if you got any dogs or anything, bring them inside, because if you leave them outside, those dogs will be tormented. If you got horses, like if you live out in the country or whatever, you got horses or cattle, these things will torment them, scare animals, make them freak right out. They're not good news, you know. They're not good usually. They're to be avoided at all costs. That being said, they have been known to help people in different ways. They've been known to offer assistance and to heal. They've been known to you know, grant long life and good health to people, to cure people of different sicknesses. And if any one of them kind of adopts a family or adopts people in a family or whatever, or you know, maybe they feel sorry for you or something like that, they could be amazing protectors and allies as well. And if for whatever reason one does choose to work with you, you know, always leave offerings for it. of food. We also include tobacco. Tobacco is considered to be over here one of the 4 sacred plants. There's, of course, all plants are sacred, but one of the 4 major ones. I mean, there's sage, sweetgrass, cedar, and tobacco. So we'll leave, offerings. It could be tobacco, it could be sage, it could be cedar, it could be whatever. Anything, whatever you got. And food, fruit. These ones like fruit. They also love raw meat. And to offer it raw meat, you say if you go hunting, your kill, whatever it is, deer, moose, elk, whatever, you always take some raw meat and you, from that kill, and you leave it with an offering. It could be sage, whatever, up in a tree. You hang it from a tree for those things to eat. They really like raw meat. They're very strong physically, and what repels them is the smell of burning animal lard, like in a fire. So if you're at a campfire, always keep some of that around. If you have a fireplace or a wood stove, keep some of that around. It's got to be animal lard, not vegetable shortening lard. It's got to be the animal lard. And you don't have to throw the whole entire pound of it into a fire. You could throw maybe I don't know, maybe a 1/4 cup of it in or something like that. But once that smell hits the air, they'll take off. There is a person in our family that had been healed by one of those things when they were a baby. And when they communicate to you, it's with mental telepathy. I'm just checking the time. They don't speak out loud the way we do. It's all mental telepathy. That person was a baby, and the mother was staying up all night to make sure that the baby kept breathing. And at one point she looked towards the door of the bedroom, and that thing was standing there staring at her. And then so she looked at it, and in her mind she said her tobacco was on the table, and for it to take whatever it needed, however much it wanted. And then she looked back towards her baby, because she didn't want to be disrespectful to this thing. Her concern was on her child. And then when she looked back towards the doorway, that thing was gone. And then she woke up her husband and was kind of scared, because you hear all these stories about them disemboweling people and hurting people and whatnot. And then after that, her child, by that morning, was completely healed, and they believe it was because of that pakak. And sometimes those pakaks will adopt a family or family members and will warn them if there's danger. They will make that really freaky sound that I was telling you guys about earlier. They will also warn you if there's been a death of somebody in your family or a close friend of yours or something like that. They'll warn you if there's been a death, if you're going to hear about a death. They'll also warn you if somebody tries to send bad medicine your way. They'll make that sound, and then okay, look, there's going to be some bad news or something happening. I better keep my guard up. But for the most part, contact with those ones, it's highly not recommended at all. And but if one does happen to kind of adopt you, make regular offerings to it, be respectful, and if you promise it anything, you best follow up with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So I've got to do the next video. So see you guys in a bit.